Today we're breaking down ENCE's recent win over FaZe on Overpass. We'll start at the first weapon round. Hades with the AWP has the best spawn for B, so we'll see ENCE start in a 4B setup where he aims to go for a short pick. And with it being the first weapon round as well, stacking 4B is a great counter to teams that try to set the tempo by going fast B. The first thing you'll see is that Madden delays his early round AG. Part of the reason for that is because with 4 players stacked at B, ENCE actually want FaZe to run into the stack if they're rushing. An early round AG might cause them to cancel. So Madden waits until the monster smoke gets closer to the end, as that's typically when T's either try to get ahead of it or phase it, and as a result it lands perfectly on Rain and Kerrigan, who are trying to execute their B hit. To counter the execute, Diha, who's near Graffiti, counters with an AG, but he also throws a Molotov towards the fence. This Molotov eliminates a common position that T's typically try to cross to for cover, and it works out perfectly as Rain scales to this exact position. For Hades and Snappy, they get smoked off, but the best counter for any smoke is to boost, so Hades gets a boost over the smoke to find Kerrigan coming up, completely unsuspecting. And lastly, Snappy adds to the chaos by simply pushing the smoke to help his teammates fight and gets 2 kills to shut down the main push and lock up their first round on the CT side. In the next round, we'll see a situation where both the A players, Spinx and Hades, die at long A. Despite their deaths, they did at least die far enough away from the bomb site to allow their closest rotation player Diha a chance to defend the site. Diha opts to play behind the default boxes to fight against the push. He finds the first on Twist, and as he's getting wrapped, he also finds Brokey before going down. A couple details to note here. The first is that Diha commits to the spray at long despite only seeing Twist for a moment before getting blinded. By committing to the spray, he's giving himself the best chance to kill someone who might come out without actually having to see them. It's particularly effective if the enemy also happens to be low HP, which Twist is by the time he goes into Diha's crosshair. Now after the kill on Twist, notice that Diha tucks himself into default just enough to avoid Kerrigan's angle, which gives him space to isolate a fight against Brokey. With this kill on Brokey, he wraps around to the right side, trying to avoid the pressure on the left, making FaZe work hard to find them around the default box. And this creates an opportunity for Madden to strike from bank, killing Rain in the side. Once Madden is here, notice that he doesn't commit too much to fighting Kerrigan here because he's aware that a second player might try to peek him. He's constantly looking at other angles in between his fights with Kerrigan so that he's ready for that duel. Once he finally gets that duel with Rops, he then focuses on Kerrigan. A few rounds later, we'll see Spinx get aggressive towards the A playground, and with no one contesting, he sets up and uses this crack at the bottom to spot if T's come up T stairs. Over at B, ENCE feel what could be another B execute, and Molotov at barrels along with the smoke at Graffiti, which are the same nades they saw in the first gun round, but Snappy, who's near sandbags, doesn't see anyone come out, suggesting it could be some sort of fake. This does 2 things for the A players. Spinx pushes forward towards the T steps to contain, and Hades cancels his rotation to B to turn around and spot Connector. He finds Rain coming out and re-aggresses Bathroom to try to get more information as it's not clear where FaZe plan to end. Spinx does the same thing. He aggresses towards T spawn to try and figure out what FaZe are doing. As Hades is pushing up, he hears a flash being thrown and ends up finding Kerrigan at the entrance of bathrooms. And at the same time, Spinx catches Twist off guard, and this makes it a 5v2 situation. Because of ENCE's willingness to push for information off the fake, they've cut off so much of the map for FaZe that it basically forces them to go B. And once they actually hit B, they're surrounded from every angle, and Diha gets the final 2 kills from behind to finish off the round. In the very next round, we'll see Spinx get aggressive playground again. This time though, since FaZe extinguished the Molotov, there's a chance that somebody's made it through. So Hades throws a flash room to peek playground, and this flash does just enough to give Spinx the upper hand in the fight to make it 5v4. Spinx falls back, but he's still going to maintain control of long A, and this positioning is going to come into play in the mid round. And that's because what ends up happening is Kerrigan finds a timing to catch Hades completely off guard, but he misses his shot. Spinx, who has pushed up long A, uses his positioning to catch Kerrigan from behind. With this kill, ENCE essentially cleared the A side of the map, allowing Hades to confidently rotate to B where the hit is happening. Unfortunately, the B defense completely collapses without a single trade. Madden dies at barrels, Snappy dies in water, and Diha gets spammed through the smoke. But Hades saves the round by pushing through the smoke to find Brokey planting, Robs under heaven, and Rain at short. But why was FaZe so caught off guard? This is because everyone FaZe killed during their take, Madden, Snappy, Diha are all B-sided players. That's why you'll see Rain, after getting the 3rd kill, he turns to look towards short, and Rops, he has his attention more at heaven and further back Graffiti. The early rotation made by Hades afforded him a forward timing that FaZe wouldn't expect, and Hades also made sure not to make any noise to avoid revealing his position. They're expecting him to be further back, so Hades capitalized on the slight gap to catch all three of them off guard to convert the round. A couple rounds later, Spinx takes an aggressive position at Party. As soon as FaZe create presence, Hades throws a flash from to peek, allowing him a kill and information on 2 more players. He dies, but it comes with a vital piece of information. The specific part that helps is the assist by Rops. This helps Madden because after phasing the monster smoke, this is a confirmation that outside B is probably clear since Rops is normally the B player. And this allows ENCE to rotate more fully towards A with 3 players. Now despite having a second player at bathrooms, ENCE only managed 1 kill. As the third player, Snappy's positioning is key here. He openly takes this fight against Rain because he's well ahead of the timing of the expected rotation, which is why you see Rain aiming more towards the jump up. He then drops the smoke on the right side of default, making FaZe think that he could be using the smoke as a one-way, but really falls back to CT to phase the jump up smoke to catch Kerrigan pushing into the site. With this kill, Madden, who is on the big flank, simply plays to contain, staying at Party and removing the option for the last T to go through connector to B. And Snappy positions himself in a super passive position, forcing Rops to have to clear all the way down the stairs if he wants to find him. As time runs low, Rops makes a step near sight, and that confirms to both players where Rops is. Snappy pushes up and does just enough to throw Rops off the plant and confirm match point. At match point, Spinx goes aggressive towards long A, and with him not seeing anyone at playground or outside A, this allows the rest of ENCE to stack towards B. The short pop comes from FaZe where D-Hop falls in the wood position, and Snappy dies completely blind at Monster. With the early rotation, Madden makes it to the water position to take down Rain dropping in, and with 1 bullet left he dodges the fight against Kerrigan running at him, buying just enough time for Hades to come from Graffiti to take down Kerrigan. Now in a 3-on-3, Hades and Madden do their best to fight together. Hades finds 1 before dropping, and Madden gets 1 more before falling to Rops, leaving it down to a 1v1. Spinx, who was pushed up at A this whole time, actually goes for the big flank, and by the time Rops gets a kill on Madden, Spinx is already at Monster. Since he was pushed up towards A with no one from FaZe ever spotting him, Spinx is at an extremely forward timing to catch Rops in the back completely. Spinx capitalizes on that timing and brings ENCE over the line 16-13. Thank you so much for watching, please drop a like, and you might also be interested in this video where I break down Twist's impact against G2 on Mirage.